Oh yeah. Is it Thursday already? Wow. Do we have quite the conversation to have today, ladies and gentlemen, as we are finally going to figure out who the hell is under that mask. Who is the clone assassin from these Bad Batch first 7 episodes? We're going to talk about all of it. We got a lot to get into today. Also, Rogue Squadron is back on? What? We got a lot to talk about today, so without further ado, let's dive into all of it. What's up, guys? It's Mike, a guy who loves Star Wars. We got an insane amount to talk about today. We're going to break down who is under that mask, who's the clone assassin from the last 2 episodes of the Bad Batch. That can't, like, this clone assassin literally seems to not be able to die. He seems invincible at this point. So we're going to talk about all of that. We're going to talk about the Rogue Squadron movie. Patty Jenkins' Star Wars movie is back on? What? We got a lot to talk about today. We're going to break it all down. We're going to finally figure out who's under that mask. We are doing it today, so smash a freaking like on this stream and let's dive into all of it. How's everybody doing on this fine Thursday afternoon? How's everybody doing today on this fine Thursday afternoon? What's up, chat? How we doing? Let me see. Dustin Kennedy, what's up? Jay, how we doing? Fearless, what's up? How y'all doing? I'm doing good, Fearless. How are you doing? How are you doing? If you're just coming in now, smash a freaking like on the stream. And let's start up a poll right away about this clone assassin, okay? So, who do you think is... Wait, who do you think the clone assassin is? All right, here are your 4 options. You got 4 of them. Your first one is Tech. Tech, let me be honest, not the biggest fan of this one. Yes, it could be an evil version of Tech if he survived the fall. There's some people online saying, "Oh my God, the infrared or whatever the hell that Crosshair's looking at makes it look like he has metal legs, possibly because Tech lost his legs in the fall." Maybe. We'll break it down. Your second option is Commander Cody. My personal favorite option, but that's just my bias, because I think it's Cody. He went AWOL in Season 2. We'll break it down in a second, but that's your second option. Your third option, which a lot of fans seems to be leaning this way, which is surprising to me. Pretty damn surprising to me. But your third option is a clone of Crosshair. A clone of Crosshair. Now, I've been seeing, I'm not the biggest fan of this one. Honestly, I don't like it at all. But a lot of people, and I mean a lot of people, in the breakdown video from yesterday, in the comment sections on X, formerly known as Twitter, a lot of people are talking about it possibly being a clone version of Crosshair because of the sound of his voice and some other things that we'll get into as well. And your fourth option is someone else. Or other, I guess. Other. We'll put it as other. Or somebody else. And if you do select other, please tell me who you think it is, because I really would love to hear it. All right, so I pulled that up. Let's see what you guys think right off the bat, and we'll see how that poll goes for a while. Fearless says, "I'm a little stressed out, but I'm doing fine." That's good to hear. Dustin says, "I think it might be Cody." I'm on the Cody bandwagon as well, but we're going to break down why I think it could be any number of these people that I just mentioned before. Jay says, "Have you played the new Battlefront yet?" No. I must say I haven't, and I have not heard good things. See, here's my thing with remastering games. Yes, those games were really fun when I was a kid, and I remember the games being really fun when I was a kid. But the reason that I don't go back and play those games now is because the new games are better. Graphics-wise, combat-wise, everything. They're just better. So they remastered the old game, but they didn't really. The graphics are still horrible. I've been hearing that the gameplay is awful. I've been hearing that the connection is horrible. They keep kicking people from games. You have to queue up for a game and it takes forever. I've just heard bad things, so I honestly don't want to spend my time just wasting my time trying to play Battlefront 2, the old Battlefront 2, when I could just play Battlefront 2 that's still working now, if that makes sense. So no, I have not played it, and I don't really intend on playing it, but if I want to play Battlefront, I'll just play the new Battlefront, you know? Fearless says, "But Tech is a defective clone, like Crosshair. It shouldn't have worked on him, the reconditioning." That is true, but it was maybe only specifically Crosshair that it didn't work on. We'll talk about it. Jay says, It's actually the green smoke, like Marok. Some people actually, I don't know if they're serious or not, but they are putting that in a lot of comment sections that they think it's Marok or something similar to that. I hate that theory, but we'll see. Fearless says, I believe that it's Cody or someone else. Interesting. Ian, what's up? Says, I hope this CX guy isn't another Marok. So let's talk about that. The big elephant in the room before we even dive into, is it a clone of Crosshair? Is it Commander Cody? Is it Tech? Let's talk about this. It's possible that, yes, we are going to talk about this guy for the next 2 hours. And yes, it's possible that we've been talking about this clone assassin for the last 2 weeks. And yes, it's possible that we could be talking about this clone assassin for the next 2 weeks. And it will be revealed to us that it's nobody. It's definitely possible that this could be another Marok situation. Not that it's going to be Green Smoke. Not that it's going to be the same character from Ahsoka. More so that it's going to be nobody. Nobody of importance. Nobody important to the story for the Bad Batch, like a clone version of Crosshair, like Commander Cody, like Tech. It's just nobody. It's just another regular clone that means absolutely nothing. And that's very possible that that could be the case here. We could be talking about this for weeks and weeks and weeks, and it could be yet another Marok. Do I have to remind you that when the Ahsoka show was coming out week to week, we were saying it's going to be Starkiller. Starkiller is Marok. Sam Witwer was in the credits. It's definitely Starkiller. And guess what? It wasn't. A lot of people thought it could have been another Inquisitor or something else. Like, there was so many theories running around wild. It could be Cal Kestis. It could be Barriss Offee. It could be anybody. So many theories running around for Marok up until leading up to when we found out that it was just smoke. And a lot of fans were very upset about that. So there is always the small chance that we could be talking about this character, this clone assassin, this clone X, whatever you want to call him. We could be talking about him for weeks and weeks and weeks, and it's revealed to us that he's just yet another clone reg that was pretty much just tortured and conditioned to become this clone assassin. That is always a possibility here. But I have reason to believe and evidence to lay out for you today as to why I think it is a special clone. It is somebody that we should be talking about. It is somebody that will be meaningful to the back half of this season, to the Bad Batch themselves. And we'll get into that in just a second here. Ugh, damn it. So smash a freaking like on the stream if you haven't yet. I'm getting hyped up. I'm getting really hyped up. I'm ready for this stream. I am so ready. Dustin says, does anyone have any idea who that homeless clone is in Kenobi? Well, he's wearing a 501st armor. So I would guess he's from the 501st, but I don't think we know exactly who that is. No, I do not. Fearless says, I've been wondering that too, who that clone might be. Me too. Ian says, if only Rex knew a Jedi that he could ask about the M count, like Ahsoka. That's actually a good point, Ian, and I've heard some people talking about that too, where Rex has heard about the M count. There's a whole conversation, I talked about this in my breakdown video, where Omega brings up the fact that they're trying to find a clone with a high M count. That's the whole gist of what's going on Mount Tantus. Project Necromancer, we know what's going on. But the clones themselves don't. They really don't. So it's the whole Bad Batch crew, Crosshair, Wrecker, Hunter, and Omega, with Rex and Hauser and all these other clones in a room together talking about M count. None of them knows what it means, but us as the audience are like, hey, stupid, it's midichlorians, you got to know this. But they don't know it because they're all just clones. So, yeah, maybe if Rex has any communications with Ahsoka, then he could do that, but I doubt it. I doubt that he has any communications with Ahsoka, and I don't think Ahsoka's going to be around at this time in the show. But I like the theory, Ian. I do. Fearless says, I don't think it's just another Marok. He was just too worn out after climbing out of the water. Oh yeah, no, it's definitely not smoke. That's not what I'm saying. I'm more saying that it could be another Marok situation that we have on our hands where fans get really hyped up, speculate about who could be under the mask, and go on these crazy week-long prediction crazes like I am right now about it being Commander Cody. And then it's revealed to us that it's just nobody. It was nobody of importance, and we really didn't, like, it had nothing to do with the story. Now, let me dive into why I think that that's not the case, why I think this is really an important character for the Bad Batch. What's up, Rose? How we doing? So let's do that now. So you got to take the last 2 episodes that we watched. Yes, we saw the death of another clone assassin in the 6th episode, but this clone that comes to replace him is very important. And here's why. He had, I believe I counted it 6 times where he should have died in those 2 episodes that we watched yesterday. 6 times that this clone assassin could have or should have died, whether that be an explosion, an entire building falling on top of him, falling down a big-ass waterfall. There was many. Was that 6 manys? I think so. Many times that this guy should have and could have died, and they didn't do that. Now we've seen multiple clone assassins throughout the last 2 seasons of the Bad Batch. So it would make sense that if they were just going to kill off this clone assassin because he means nothing and he's just cannon fodder, then they would just kill him off and bring in yet another clone assassin. But that's not the case. This specific clone assassin that we're talking about today, that's in the thumbnail of this video, that's been talked about for weeks because of the Bad Batch trailer that he's also in, there's a reason that this clone assassin is of extreme importance. He could have died. He didn't die. He fights Crosshair with a specific weapon, which we'll get to, the Vibroblade, that leads me to believe that it's Commander Cody, but he is going to be of extreme importance. This isn't sort of the same Marok situation where Marok wasn't really a main character. It was Shin, it was Balin, it was Morgan Elsbeth, and we, for some reason, were hyper-focused on the guy who wouldn't show his face, which is very similar to what's going on here, but right now, the clone assassin is the main threat to the Bad Batch. Dominic, what's up? Jason, what's up? How we doing? All right, so right now, 62% of you think that it's Commander Cody, which makes sense. Let's see where everybody, 50, just dropped to 56. 22% of you think it's Tech. Okay. 11% say other, and and now it's 20% say other, and 10% say a clone of Crosshair. So let's talk about each option here. Why I think it could and could not be Tech. Let's start with could not. I think Tech's, of course, sacrifice at the end of Season 2 is of the utmost importance. I think if he comes back, they have to do it in the right way. That won't take away from that sacrifice. He sacrifices his own life to save his other clone brothers. That can't be negated by him coming back in this 3rd season. That can't happen. So that's why I think that it shouldn't be Tech. But a lot of fans have come up with some very good connections and theories as to why this clone assassin could be Tech. What's up, Maggie? How we doing? So let's talk about why it could be Tech first, okay? Let me actually pull up a picture of this dude first. Bad Batch, clone assassin. Okay, there we go. Bad Batch clone assassin. This dude right here. That's a better picture. Okay, cool. Cool. This one right here. This clone assassin, for those of you who don't know who the hell I'm talking about. This clone assassin. Okay, so why do I think this could be Tech? Well, first of all, purely based off of looks. This looks like Tech. Now, in the trailer, actually, if I could pull that up really quickly, in the trailer for the Bad Batch, we actually see the behind this character shot where, let me pull it up real quick.
Not with the Empire imprisoning the kid.
Not with the Empire imprisoning the kid. Oh. There we go. Perfect. So, from this behind him shot, you can clearly tell he's wearing the backpack, very similar to Tech. He's got a lot of very similar attributes when it comes to his armor. Now, people have put the side-by-sides with Tech and this dude, and you can really tell that, like, this stuff down here on his armor, this stuff up here on his armor, and the backpack itself looks very similar to Tech's. Coincidence? Maybe. But maybe not. Now, somebody else noticed online that during the infrared scene when they're having the Crosshair versus this clone assassin, and it's dark outside, so Crosshair turns on the infrared thing in his scope, and he's looking at him. It looks almost like he has metal legs, almost like his legs don't really exist. Now, I don't know if that's been debunked yet or not. I haven't really looked too far into that because I'm not really big on this whole tech being this dude, but that might be the case, that he has metal legs under those legs, and that would make sense for somebody who fell from quite a distance. Now, the biggest leading factor as to why a lot of fans think that it's tech under this mask is because we know for a fact, it is factual information, that the Empire recovered Tech's body. We know that for a fact because at the end of Season 2, Hemlock brings the goggles to Hunter. Hunter still has the goggles, meaning where there's goggles, there's a body. The Empire is confirmed to have Tech's body. And that might just be enough for you to say, yeah, Mike, it's Tech under this mask. This is Tech. And maybe that's good enough for you. Maybe that is good enough for you, but I actually think that there's more evidence to say it's Commander Cody. Now, we'll get to Commander Cody in just a second, but please, in the chat, tell me if you think that it's Tech. And if so, why? And if you don't think it's Tech, tell me why as well. What's up, Alex? How we doing? What's up? Oh, Fearless. Fearless. Welcome to the people who love Star Wars. Oh, yeah. Fearless, welcome to the people who love Star Wars. Joins as a member at the Padawan level. I appreciate that, Fearless. I really, really do. Very generous of you. I appreciate that. Okay, very interesting. 31% of you guys in the poll are saying other. Who? If you said other in the in the poll, please tell me who you think the other could be. All right, let me scroll up on the chat so I can catch up with what you guys are talking about. Dustin says, these clones at Mount Tantus, are they just going to be, are they going to become, the first generation of Dark Troopers? It's possible, because the first generation of Dark Troopers did have humans inside of them. But I don't know. I mean, yeah, maybe. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. Fearless says, I think Echo will ask Asajj, like he mentioned to Omega when he gave her the crossbow. He knows some people. That's actually very good, too. That's an extremely important line from the last 2 episodes that nobody was talking about. Not a single person. And it's a very important scene because not only is he handing a blaster to Omega that looks exactly like Boba Fett's blaster in Return of the Jedi. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, let me show you. Let me show you. Bad Batch poster. Damn it. Oh, wait, there it is. There it is. So this blaster right here that Omega got in this last episode is almost an exact replica to Boba Fett's blaster. And what's really funny is people were trying to argue with me in the comment section about this. Are your eyes not working? It's clearly the same blaster. But the only difference is, of course, the crossbow aspect of it. And yes, that's a big difference. But it is the same exact blaster hilt and scope and handle and everything else. So it is very similar to that. But Echo's line in this scene is that he has made contacts around the galaxy or around the universe, whatever he says. And that's a very interesting line. And it will become even more important further down in this season, because who are those contacts? Is it Asajj Ventress? Is it Cad Bane? Is it Fennec Shand? Are they going to come in as good guys in this 3rd season? Or is it somebody else? Who could these contacts that Echo is making around the galaxy possibly be? I heard one person say maybe Hondo Unaka. I'd love to see Hondo in this 3rd season. I think it's very, 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 very unlikely. Let me emphasize that. But it would be very cool to see Hondo come back. Chris, what's up? Yeah, that would be awesome. But there's definitely a very important aspect to this conversation between Omega and Echo when he gives her this blaster that not a lot of people are talking about. That's very true. So who those contacts or friends that he's made around the galaxy, that could become a very important piece to maybe figuring out how to save the clones on Mount Tantus. Here's the biggest thing. When Hunter and the others go to the base on Teth, by the way, let's give a huge shout out to Teth. Dave Filoni doing it again, going back to the beginning of the Clone Wars. Teth is the planet that Ahsoka and Anakin are trying to get from the Separatists, all the way back in the Clone Wars movie. Very cool callback from the very end of the Clone Wars saga, which is this third and final season of the Bad Batch, all the way to the beginning. Huge callback, awesome. But when Hunter and the Bad Batch show up there, and Hunter and Rex have a conversation, Rex is telling him that, yeah, we got all these clones back. We got Hauser, we got Namek, we got Fireball, and others, because we need all the help that we can get to go save our clone brothers on Mount Tantus. That's what he says in episode 6. Fast forward to the end of episode 7, and they're all dead. Fireball dies. Namek dies. Hauser's still alive. Rex is still alive. But the rest of them die. They blow up on the base on Teth. They all die outside. They all die. So now Rex is back down to just 2 of them. He's back down to nobody. So now they have no army to go help the clone brothers on Mount Tantus. So they're going to need all the help they can get. And Echo, referring to these friends that he's made across the galaxy, is going to come back to be one of the most important lines of the whole show. Very true. Very true, Fearless, and that's a great catch. Yeah. Dustin says, I wonder when Commander Wolf will join Rex. So that's a big thing. Obviously, Wolf is one of the 3 characters that is in Rebels, or 3 clones, I should say. You got Rex, you got Wolf, and you got Gregor. Gregor is already with Rex. He wasn't on Teth, so he survived. But it's very cool to see the fact that, yes, Wolf let them go, but he's still working for the Empire. So Wolf is still with the Empire, but at some point we know for a fact that he comes back to the light side and he's with Rex in Rebels. So I don't know when that's going to happen. If that's going to happen in this 3rd season, I don't know, but it'll be cool. Yeah. Yeah. What's up, Jason? What's up, Dominic? How's it going? Maggie, what's up? All right, can I move this thing? I don't want to end it. All right, that's better. Cool. Dustin says, I think it's Cody because of his tactics, and the assassin knows Crosshair. He said that you could have been one of us in the season 7. Commander Cody was the one who called them. What? I lost you on the back half there. But yes, let's talk about why I think that it's Commander Cody. Okay? Yes, although tech could be something cool, here's why I think it's Commander Cody. Okay? And Maggie, I appreciate that. I really, really doubt it. I seriously doubt it. Maggie just said, hey, congrats on 19.5K subs. I appreciate that. It's insane, absolutely insane that we're at 19,500 subscribers. I cannot thank you guys enough. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. But it's very, very unlikely that at some point in the next 2 hours we hit 20K. But if that happens to happen, I need one of you guys in the chat on watch to make sure if we do hit that. I would literally shit my pants live on wait, hang on, let me rephrase. I would be extremely surprised if we hit 20,000 subscribers on this stream. It would be like absolutely mind-blowing. Going up 500 subscribers in the next 2 hours is almost impossible. So I seriously doubt that that's the case, but I don't want to miss it if it happens live. So I appreciate it, Maggie. But now I'm completely off topic and it's all your fault. Okay, Dustin said Cody. Okay, let's talk about Cody. So yes, it's possible that it could be tech. It could be tech for those reasons that I laid out before. Now, Commander Cody is the one that I believe the most. And here's why. Commander Cody, from what we know of him, he's probably the 2nd most recognizable clone in the entire clone army, other than Captain Rex. Would you guys agree with that? Give me a 1 into the chat if you would agree with that. Is Cody the 2nd most recognizable? Or give me actually a 2 in the chat if you would agree with that. Give me a 2 into the chat if you think he's the 2nd most recognizable clone. Give me a 3 into the chat if you think he's the 3rd most recognizable clone. Give me a 4 into the chat. It's so on and so forth. I think he's probably the 2nd most recognizable clone behind Captain Rex. So with that being said, you're going to have to show his death, if that makes sense. Obviously, Captain Rex's death at some point is going to be shown in Star Wars, whether that's in animation or live action, it remains to be seen. But at some point, we are going to see Captain Rex's death, and they're going to spend their time to do it correctly. It's going to be a very, very emotional scene. But just like they've done very emotional deaths with Fireball in the last episode, but they've done more memorable ones like Fives, like Clone 99, like so many clones in the past that have died where you're like, I didn't realize that I could care so much about a clone. That's going to happen the same way with Cody. Now in season 2 of The Bad Batch, he goes AWOL. In one of the best episodes of The Bad Batch thus far, we see Cody and Crosshair go on this awesome mission to a separatist planet. I believe the planet was called... What the hell was the planet called? Somebody in the chat help me out. What was that planet called that they go on the mission to? Was it like Kicks or Clicks or something like that? Somebody help me. Somebody help me out in the chat. They go to this planet where the Separatist is holding an Imperial senator, and they go save him. This is when Cody realizes that the Empire is bad. This is also a big stepping point for Crosshair in realizing that the Empire is bad, which he later finally comes full circle after he sees Mayday die. But Cody is a big part of that journey as well. But at the end of that episode, we hear that Cody goes AWOL from Admiral Rampart, Vice Admiral Rampart. And Rampart is literally most known for lying. That's pretty much it. He's most known for lying. So that makes sense that he would lie to us. But also, at the time in season 2, a lot of clones that do go AWOL or don't follow the orders of the Empire, they get sent to Mount Tantus to have experiments run on them. That's why all these clones are there. That's how they intercept Gregor in season 2 as well. He's on his way to Tantus. So there's a lot of clones being sent off to Tantus, and I think Cody was one of them. And Rampart was lying that he went AWOL. Cody is going to be seen again in this 3rd season, regardless of whether I think he's under this mask or not. He's coming back in this 3rd season. He's either going to be a good guy or a bad guy, and that remains to be seen, but I think he's under this mask, and here's why. We see this clone assassin, again, he could have died a million times in this episode, and he didn't. But it's his fighting tactics. It's the way that he moves around that really reminds me of Commander Cody. It's the vibro blade that he takes off the trooper to remind Crosshair of who he is. Yes, he's been brainwashed. Yes, he's been conditioned by the Empire to do whatever they say. But I think it's Commander Cody. Without doubt in my mind, I think it's Commander Cody until proven otherwise. I think I was already set on Commander Cody before these 2 episodes. And I think these 2 episodes only furthered my explanation as to why I think it's Cody. It's the fighting tactics, the vibroblade, every single scene that this clone assassin is in. I was like, yeah, that's Crosshair. That's absolutely Crosshair. I mean, Crosshair. That's Cody. That's absolutely Cody. Now, do you guys agree with me? Am I just going too crazy that I just have tunnel vision on Commander Cody? Or do you guys actually see what I'm saying? Does what I'm saying make sense? Let's put it that way. Does it seem like this could be Commander Cody? Because, by the way, the poll now is the majority of you, which is only 37%, say other. And of course, if you haven't yet, throw what you think that other is in the chat. And while you're at it, smash a freaking like on this stream. How do we only have this many likes on this stream? Are you kidding me right now? Just kidding.
This is where the fun begins.
But is what I'm saying makes sense? Commander Cody is the 2nd most important clone of all time. His death is going to be a very meaningful one, and I think he will appear in this 3rd season, but I think he's already appeared in this 3rd season as this clone assassin. Supernova 20 says, Tech, when do we ever follow orders? What? I'm confused. Oh, yeah. Well, hang on. Just completely off topic. Or not off topic, but going back to Tech, and a reason why that Tech could be the person under the mask. A lot of people brought this up, and Fearless actually brought this up in our last stream, and it was a very, very good point, and I have to point it out again. In the trailer for The Bad Batch, when we saw this clone assassin, He is on Pabu. And there's no way for the Empire to know where Pabu is unless they have the information from Tech's brain. So it could be very similar to what happened with Echo, where we thought he died, but he really just got captured by the Empire, and they used his brain to know the tactics of the Republic. Very similar, the Empire finds Tech, and they find out where Pabu is. They find out where Omega is hiding. That is another reason as to why it could be Tech. But going back to Cody. What do we think? Let me read some chats so I can catch up here. Maggie says, I think it's just a normal clone. Maybe an ARC trooper or something, or a special trained trooper. Tech is dead, Cody is gone, and it's too soon to see a clone of the Bad Batch. Yeah, we'll get into the clone of Crosshair in a second here, but you think Cody is gone. Again, Tech being dead makes sense to me. Cody being gone doesn't make sense to me. He's such an important clone that him just showing up for one episode in season 2 and then going AWOL and never seeing him again makes way less sense than him being this clone assassin. It literally makes way less sense. But a normal clone is definitely something that a lot of fans seem to think it could be. Chris, what's up? Entertainment fan says, it's got to be one of the other cloned prisoners. The Empire wouldn't have gone back to pick up Tech's body, and they wouldn't do something like that to Cody. I think Cody is elsewhere in the galaxy. Okay. I appreciate that, but let me completely debunk that. The Empire wouldn't go back and pick up Tech's body. First of all, we just talked about this, but they have his goggles. They gave his goggles back to Hunter, meaning they did go back and find his body. We know that for a fact. That was in season 2. And the whole thing, they wouldn't do that to Cody. Why not? The Empire does way worse things to people all the time. Think of what they did with the Inquisitors, or even Vader, and he's the main dude over there. Like, they've done way worse things to less innocent people. Cody's a clone. The Empire sees him as a clone. If he's going to go AWOL, they're going to bring him to Tantus, experiment on him, torture him, recondition him, do all this stuff. That's exactly what they would do. Yeah. Dustin says, I would love to see Hondo again. Me too. Hondo Inaka would be awesome. I'd love to see him again. I'm sure if like Jennifer Cobart, whatever her name is, I'm sure she would love to probably bring in a familiar face like that. But we've already seen some familiar faces in this third season, from Kevin Durant or Roland Durand in the first 2 episodes, which was from season 1. And we're going to be seeing, we saw Fireball and Nemec from season 1 and season 2. We're going to be seeing a lot more familiar faces from the first 2 seasons of the Bad Batch, but also maybe some familiar faces from the Clone Wars itself, like the base on Teth, or not just locations, but people like Hondo Unaga. It would be cool. It would be cool. Entertainment fan says, even Greer died while Rex and his group were protecting the senators. Yeah. At the beginning of the episode, you're right. Yeah. 100%. Yes. Jay, with his 1 month member, says, bye-bye, Mike. I'm going to eat pizza because it's Pie Day. Oh, it's Pie Day. March 14th, 3.14. That's hilarious. That's awesome. I might have to eat pizza later now. That's so funny. Everybody go out and get pizza for Pie Day. I appreciate that, Jay, with a nice 1 month member. That's hilarious. Chris says, Mike, I heard that Patty Jenkins' Star Wars Rogue Squadron is back in development at Lucasfilm, and said, I don't know how I feel about Patty Jenkins doing a Star Wars movie. Yeah, we'll talk about that after we get through this Bad Batch stuff. But yes, Patty Jenkins is back on developing this Rogue Squadron movie. I'm actually just finished writing the script for a new video all about that. Yeah, I'm breaking it all down, what she has to say about it, what we think this movie's going to be about, when we think it's going to be released, all that stuff. We'll talk about it later here on stream. But yes, it is back in development. What the hell does that mean? We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it for sure. But yes, I have heard that. Entertainment fan says, and I had no idea that Wolf actually served the Empire. Yeah, I mean, I guess none of us did, but all the clones did. They just went straight from the Republic to the Empire. only Rex and a handful of other clones woke up and realized that the Empire wasn't good. And a lot of them probably did after time, like Commander Cody does in the second season. But a lot of clones probably had no other option. All they know is war. They can't just go and work on a farm or something like Cut does, but he's kind of different. Yeah. Fearless says, Hondo Unaka, you think we could see him in live action one day? Ooh. In live action is a different story. Maybe. And here's where I think we could see Hondo in live action, and that is Skeleton Crew. Skeleton Crew we know very, very little about. It comes out later this year. But of what we do know, there's going to be a lot of pirates in this show. And there's one really old pirate. He'll be really old by that time. But there's one really old pirate that I'd love to see in live action, and that would, of course, be Hondo Unaka. Supernova 20, what's up, says, the Shadow Trooper is tech. I'm 100% on board with this. Okay, so we got somebody who's 100% on board with the tech theory. I'm 100% on board with the Commander Cody theory. So what theories are you guys 100% on board with? And by the way, Commander Cody has taken the lead again in that poll with 33%. This is one of the most split polls we've ever had on this channel during a live stream. This is insane. We got 32% saying Commander Cody, 23% saying tech, 32% saying other, and 14% saying Crosshair. So there is a bunch of you that agree with each, that think that this could be one of many different people, which is very, very cool. Yeah. Thanks again, Maggie. Entertainment Fan says, we need Hondo Unaka in live action, and we need Jim Cummings back doing the voice. Yeah. I mean, he is the GOAT. He is Hondo Unaka. But I mean, sometimes they recast the live action roles, but we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, I agree. We need Hondo in live action. Fearless says, yes, we definitely need him in live action. Okay. Maggie says, I'm about to lose a bet. Please don't get to 20K before Sunday. You're betting on my subscriber count? What? I appreciate it. Fearless says, ad alarm. I missed what you said, Mike. Oh, sorry. For the Empire. Congrats on 19.5K subs. Thank you, Fearless. I appreciate that. Nick says, when he gets his helmet removed, hope that it is Cerveza Crystal. Okay, so let me. Do you guys know what that means? Do you guys know what that means? Cerveza Crystal. Do you guys know what that is? This is hilarious. Give me a 1 into the chat if you know what that is. Star Wars Cerveza. Oh, here we go. Cerveza Crystal. Okay, so hopefully we don't get copy struck for this. But this is hilarious. So in Chile, in the early 2000s, when they were putting Star Wars on TV, they put ads inside of the movie instead of actually playing commercials. So Cerveza Crystal is a beer company, I believe, and they put their commercial inside of like the scenes in Star Wars. So I see a few of you do know what I'm talking about, but here's a clip from one of these ads. It's not even an ad, it's just built into the movie. This is kind of genius marketing, honestly, because it means no commercials, and it means you get to keep watching the movie while also getting commercials in the movie. But this is hilarious. And it's not in English.
Lo que me recuerda. Tengo algo para ti. Cerveza Cristal. Cerveza Cristal.
So it's just Obi-Wan and Luke. They're having a conversation in Obi-Wan's house in A New Hope. And when he goes up to pick up his father's lightsaber out of the crate in the room, he picks up a beer instead, and it's a commercial. That's pretty genius, honestly. Whoever came up with that in Chile deserves a raise. And if they're still around working that job, they deserve a raise. But that is hilarious. So, yeah. So Nick says, now that you guys know what that means, hopefully when he takes off, this clone assassin takes off his helmet, it's a Cerveza Crystal commercial. That would be hilarious. That would be awesome. Supernova says, Rampart is at least better than Lieutenant Nolan. I don't know. Is he? Lieutenant Nolan's annoying, but Lieutenant Nolan's only annoying for like a half an episode. And then Crosshair kills him. So it's like, good. Rampart's annoying for like 2 seasons. Like, he's really annoying for a long time, you know? Chris says, I just watched the Office trailer for the reboot or remake of the show. Of the Crow movie? That just dropped on YouTube today. Mike, it looks pretty dope trailer. Oh, the official trailer. I thought you meant the Office trailer. The official trailer for the Crow movie remake? They're doing a Crow again? What? How did they even remake that movie? That's pretty cool. Fearless says, Rampart is an Imperial. He's an a-hole like all of them. That's true. They do a great job of making the Imperial officers really seem like the worst, especially throughout this Bad Batch show. But, yeah. They're doing a remake of The Crow? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I didn't know that. Jeez, can we get some more likes on this stream? What the hell, guys? I thought we were better than this. I thought we knew the plan here. I thought we came in and we liked the video. I thought that's just what we did. I thought I didn't have to keep asking. I guess I was just
Incorrect.
Chris says, yes, the official trailer just dropped on YouTube today, and the trailer looks pretty dope. Okay, cool. Dustin says, I think it's Commander Cody. Me too. And he says, yes, what you said makes sense. I agree. Maggie says, I didn't mean gone as dead. I mean gone as in not being with the Empire. I get that, Maggie. But this is one of the most important clones in all of Star Wars, and his story isn't finished. And here's the problem. There's almost nowhere else that Cody could appear after this Bad Batch Season 3. Because he's not in Rebels, like Rex and Wolf and Gregor are. He's not in the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. He's not in anything else. So it's like he's got to be in this 3rd season, and he's probably going to die in this 3rd season as well. But it's likely that he's probably just the clone assassin that is before our eyes. That is right in front of our stupid faces. Fearless says, Cody is an important character. He's too of an important character to never see him again. It would be strange. I agree. Yes, I absolutely agree. It would be too weird to not see him come. Yeah. Dustin says, the Separatists are the ones that took Echo. Yeah. Oh, did I say the Empire? My fault. Separatists. Yeah. What's with Gregor? Where is he? That's a good question, actually, because Echo says that he's going to rendezvous with Gregor, and that's why he just drops them off and leaves in the episode. That's why Echo just dips. He's not there. So he goes and rendezvous with Gregor. I don't know what Gregor was doing, but they do show up at the end of the episode, so Gregor is still around, but he just wasn't there for that episode. Yeah. Oh, Supernova with the $1. I appreciate that. I really do. That was very generous. You didn't put anything with it, though. You got anything to say? Oh, he said, you get $1 for 1 like. I appreciate that, Supernova. I appreciate that. Ian says, don't start with the Cerveza Crystal here as well. Yeah. Could Bud Light sponsor Star Wars? I hope not. That would be, like, what if they just start putting ads in Star Wars shows? That would be a disaster. It would be so stupid. It's one thing to do it in Chile where I don't have to watch it and it's funny, but to do it here and to impede my enjoyment of a show with a commercial when I pay money to not watch commercials? Yeah, I don't like it. Dustin says, I'm all on board with that Commander Cody theory. Me too. Me too. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Let's talk about the third and final option on that list, at least, and that is a clone of Crosshair. And at first, I really, really, really hated this theory. But some people in comment sections have maybe swung my opinions a little bit on the clone of Crosshair theory. Of course, it's this 7th episode. It's the focus on Crosshair versus this character that's very similar to Crosshair. They both have the long-range sniper guns. They're both really good at sniping. And also, some fans mentioned that this clone assassin, although he does have like a voice modulator on his voice, he does kind of little bit sound like Crosshair. It was almost the first thing that a lot of you who were in the watch party, and shout out to you if you were at that watch party, a lot of you that were at the watch party, you guys noticed that almost immediately. You were like, yeah, that sounds like Crosshair. And my headset was a little strange where it was a little bit muffled. The volume wasn't that high. So it didn't really sound like Crosshair to me. But you guys were like immediately, yep, that sounds like Crosshair. This is Crosshair. It's a clone of Crosshair. Yes. Now, my rebuttal to the clone of Crosshair theory is that they didn't have enough time to create a clone of Crosshair. I just think that simple, plain, they didn't have enough time. That's it. Because we don't really know how long it takes to create a clone. And even with accelerated aging, it still takes a long period of time. Yes, accelerated aging means you're accelerating the age growth of these clones, but if somebody takes 20 years to grow 20 years, accelerated aging still might take 10 years to grow 20 years. So creating a cloned version of Crosshair, I think you're going to need a little bit longer than the 150 days that they had. So although I know there's a lot of you out there that do like this clone Crosshair theory, I think it's probably the least likely on this list. I think it's probably extremely unlikely that it's possible. I just don't see it. I don't see it happening. I just don't. I really don't. I hope it's not a freaking clone of Crosshair. That would be a disaster. Now again, I got to go to the other, which is the final option on our poll today. And other would, of course, mean just another clone. Or maybe anybody else, but just another clone. And that would be a real big bummer. As I mentioned at the beginning of this stream, the reason I think this is somebody of extreme importance is because this clone assassin could have died multiple times. Because this clone assassin is in the trailer on Pabu. And because of his connection to Crosshair. Because of the fight with Crosshair. Because of surviving that fall from the waterfall. Surviving the wreckage of Teth. Surviving all this stuff. This explosion. Like, there's a reason for this clone assassin being focused on so much. And that's why I don't think that it's just some random other clone like the first two clone assassins were. This one is special because it might be somebody that we could recognize. Cool. All right, let me catch up on some chats and then maybe we'll switch gears to the Rogue Squadron news and then we can come back to Bad Batch, obviously. Oh, I already said that. Chris says, you should type The Crow Remake 2024, Mike, on Google. All right, let me do it. The Crow Remake. Huh. Oh, wait, what? Crow Remake, this says 2022. I don't know. Interesting. Supernova says, I remember when Doritos sponsored the Phantom Menace. It was amazing. And Pepsi? I don't remember that. Oh, like the commercial. I get what you're talking about. Like the commercials that are Star Wars themed. I get that. That makes more sense. I get you now. Yeah. Maggie says, my bet was with Dala6779 on Discord. I don't know their name. Oh, I think that's Steel Production. Yeah. I actually did remember seeing that in the Discord. Fearless says, but how did they get Crosshair's clone so fast? Exactly. That's what my thing is with this whole clone of Crosshair theory. I don't think they could clone Crosshair that quickly. That's my biggest thing. Yeah. Nick says, the shadow clone that got captured calling Crosshair brother was a red flag. Yes, but that is explained. It's because Crosshair was supposed to be in that same initiative or whatever to create these clone assassins. Crosshair was supposed to be one of them, but he resisted the training, and because of his genetic mutation, he couldn't be coerced, I guess, for some reason. But that just means Crosshair was not going to be a clone assassin. But yes, obviously him calling him brother is a big red flag. Yeah. Can I get some good cups full orders in the chat, please? Ba ba. It's a cup eclipse. Fearless says they are putting way too much attention on this Shadow Trooper. Exactly. That's why we're talking about it today. That's why we need to figure out who's under that helmet, because they're putting too much attention on him. Marok, in hindsight, I looked back and they didn't really focus much on Marok. Marok was a very, very small character in the Ahsoka show. He has very little screen time. He only says about 2 lines the entire show. And we just fantasized. We were like, oh, maybe it's Starkiller. Maybe it's Barriss Offee. Maybe it's all that. And we were just getting hyped. We were hyped for Ahsoka. Ahsoka was hype. And we wanted something to latch onto, speculate about, something to do something with. And that turned into Marok. Yes, I knew that we were going to talk about this today. I knew Marok would come up in conversation, so I looked at both at the same time. I looked at Marok and Ahsoka, and I looked at this clone assassin in the last 2 episodes, and they're completely different. Marok has very little screen time and about 2 lines in the entire show. This clone assassin is focused on for 2 episodes the entire time. He could have and should have died multiple times. Multiple times. But didn't. He's extremely important to Crosshair's story, but he could be extremely important to the rest of them as well. If it's Commander Cody, all the other Bad Batch will know who that is. If it's Tech, then that couldn't be more important to the Bad Batch in their story. So it's possible that it could be a very familiar face, and that's why I think that this clone assassin is a completely different conversation to Marok. And again, if this clone assassin just happens to be yet another clone, somebody please clip that. That would be so funny. It's just me going on about how it's not like Marok, it's something really special, and then it cuts to it being just a regular clone. That would be a disaster. That would be so sad. I'm getting so excited to find out who this clone assassin is, and if it's just another stupid-ass regular clone, I'm gonna lose.
I got a bad feeling about this.
That'd be a disaster. That would be a disaster. And I would not be too happy about that. No. No, I would not. No, I would not. Chris says, type into Google Crow 2024 official trailer, Mike. It should show it. I'll watch it after the stream. I don't want to get copy struck or anything, Chris. I appreciate it, though. Rose says, what if Crosshair's shaky hands are actually from continual resistance against the conditioning? Ooh, what if one day he snaps and it gets activated like the Winter Soldier, getting activated by keywords? Oh my God! Rose with the crazy theory of the day. What if Crosshair is like the Winter Soldier and the shaky hands come from him resisting all of that torture? That's actually incredible, Rose, and that actually would give an explanation as to what happened at the end of Season 2. If you guys remember this, at the end of Season 2, when Crosshair tries to escape Mount Tantus, Hemlock catches him with his smoke or his gas or whatever the hell he was using, which, again, I think will come into play in this 3rd season. That was not just a one-off thing. They really focused on that, and Hemlock was like, oh, I made this gas that I'm immune to, but nobody else is. You best believe that gas is coming back in this 3rd season. But regardless, Hemlock says something to Crosshair along the lines of, I'm not done with you yet, or like, I have big plans for you, or something along those lines, where he has intentions to do something with Crosshair. And I think we can probably use our common sense here and realize that those plans for Crosshair was to be in this clone assassin initiative or plan or whatever it is. And maybe like Rose is saying here, Crosshair resisted the training, and that's what led him to be in the space that he is now with the shaky hands, and he's all jittery, and he's not really the same Crosshair that we remember. That's definitely what's going on, Rose. And that's a very good take. And the craziest part of that take is, what if it clicks and he activates, as you said there, and he just turns? That would be insane. After he finally came back to the Empire, to the Bad Batch, after Hunter finally trusts him again, after Omega looks up to him now, copying every move that he makes in these last 2 episodes, if he turns, if he activates, if all that conditioning finally comes out with some key words, that would be heartbreaking. That would be insane. That would be absolutely wild. But that's an incredible theory, Rose. That's an incredible theory. Crosshair, the Winter Soldier. That's what we're talking about here. I actually might make a full-on video about that, Rose. That is something to think about. For sure. I'm actually going to write it down. I'm writing it down. I'm writing it down, Rose. I'm writing it down. Rose said, Crosshair, Winter Soldier. I'll remember it. Okay. That's incredible. That would be absolutely insane. It would be this massive twist. Like, Crosshair becomes a good guy for the whole first half of the season. He redeems everything with Wrecker, with Hunter and the Bad Batch, and Omega's looking up to him the entire time, and then boop, he flips a switch. Maybe it's when he runs back into Hemlock. That would be wild. That would be absolutely wild. Fearless says, couldn't Crosshair know that Tech was in the program if he was supposed to be in there? Yes and no. We don't know if they were in the program together, like in the room together, or if all of them were in the room together. I don't know. But maybe. I feel like if he knew it was Tech, he would tell them already, but no. Have I watched the Crow movie, Mike? It's a pretty good movie. I've watched the original. I haven't watched the remake. Obviously, it hasn't come out yet. Fearless says, that would be absolutely devastating. It would. If all this redemption arc for Crosshair ends up just leading to him flipping a switch and going all Winter Soldier on them, that would be absolutely insane. Rose says, I can't claim that as my own theory. I've seen chatter on YouTube. Well, Rose, I'm giving you credit anyway, because you're the first I've heard it from. So, Jacob Genesis, what's up? Jacob says, it's got to be an elite clone trooper. They went hand-to-hand combat with Crosshair while injured. That's true, but all these clone assassins are just very, very well trained, and they went through something very similar altogether, where they went through this training. Crosshair went through the same training, and his hand-to-hand combat absolutely sucks. So it wouldn't necessarily mean that makes him just an elite clone trooper. He's just been very well trained. Actually, more reason to believe that it could be Commander Cody, honestly. Yeah. Nick says, do you have a feeling that Wolf will not let Rex and Co. leave? I'm worried for Wolf's disobedience. I know he survives, but still. Yeah, he's obviously on shaky ground. He obviously didn't want to let them go at first. But even in Rebels, if I remember correctly, Wolf is the one who's very hesitant. He almost kills Kanan right off the bat when they show up on the planet. So he's the one who calls the Empire, no? Isn't Wolf the one who calls the Empire? Or is that Gregor? One of them calls the Empire during that Rebels thing. But Wolf has always sort of been leaning more towards the Empire, no? Fearless says, oh, that was with his arm after the Shadow got injured? That was electricity. Is that normal for armor? What? Oh, what was with his armor? Oh, yeah, because he was trying to, call to his ship or whatever with his buttons on his arm, and it kept, going crazy. I don't think that means his arm is made of metal. I think that's just the armor on top of it and the mechanics on top of it. But it was strange that he kept trying to call to his ship. What was he trying to do there? What was he calling? The Dorito? What was going on with the Dorito? Ian says, Wolf survives, but he obviously goes through some shit before we see him in Rebels. Yeah, he goes through some stuff. Wolf is still with the Empire now. So I think maybe we'll see Wolf again in this 3rd season. It's not necessarily a necessity to see him again because we saw him. He had his doubts. If we don't see Wolf again, it'll make perfect sense that he ends up with Rex because Rex will eventually go find him. We don't have to see that happen. That's a story that kind of we can put 2 and 2 together. It happens. So, yeah. Fearless says, what if they got more like Echo? Wait, they got more like Echo running around. Oh, more like Echoes? Like more machine than man's running around? Interesting. That could be possible. The Empire could have created a bunch of Echo-type people that they can control, that are more machine than man. That could be possible. They do have a very similar thing around their head. Let me show you what I mean. This guy right here. See on like the sides of his head? It's like glowing and it's like circular. Maybe he's more machine than man under there. It's possible. It is possible. Damn, I wish they just told us. Now I just wish they were told us. Come on. Just tell us, please. I gots to know. Disney, if you're watching, and we know that you are, please type in the chat, who's under the mask? Please? Please? I appreciate the hearts, guys. Chris says, what do you think if they had Thrawn be the evil, oh, what? Hang on. What do you think if they had Thrawn be the clone version of Palpatine? Palpatine for the Bad Batch Season 3, Mike for a crossover universe in the World Between Worlds. What? I think you lost me on that one, Chris. But talking about Thrawn, I do think that Thrawn will show up in this 3rd season. I'm actually going to be working on a video for later on this weekend, hopefully, about Thrawn being in this 3rd season. I appreciate the hearts, guys. I really do. Can everybody spam the hearts right now? Just like, I just want to see it go really, really fast. I do think Thrawn will show up in this 3rd season. I do. I think Thrawn, the big blue meanie, I think they will set him up to sort of know where Tantus is in live action. And I think that will allow us to see Thrawn, a younger version of Thrawn, like before Rebels, Thrawn, all this stuff, like during this time, because Thrawn's around. He's around right now. So it would be cool to see him. Yeah. Yeah. Ian says, I like that the Clone X guy has a cooler ship than the Inquisitors. Yeah, he does have a really cool ship. And that's another thing. That's another reason why I think he's very important. They didn't show any of the other clone assassins' ships. They only showed this one. And this guy's ship is absolutely awesome. It's a flying Dorito. It's so cool. Officially named the Flying Dorito. Yes, it is. Flying Dorito forever. It's a cool ship. It's a really cool ship. And they just gave it to this random one-off clone assassin? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think this clone is very, 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 very important. Yeah. Very. Did I say very? Very important. Did it? Very important. All right. Let's switch gears a little bit here. Just a tad. I'm going to end this poll from before, and we're going to start up a new one. And we're going to talk about Rogue Squadron. Okay? We'll come back to the Bad Batch. Don't worry about it. We'll come back to the Bad Batch. Don't you worry about it. But this poll is a very, very divisive one. It's probably the most divisive poll we've had in a long time. The math is not mathing. But who do you think is the clone assassin? And what's really cool is that it's a very divisive poll because people have their own opinions on this. They have their own theories. We've been speculating. The Bad Batch is doing one thing and one thing very well so far, and that's having conversations for Star Wars fans to speculate about. And this one is very important. So, who do you think the clone assassin is? 37% of you, which is the high, said Commander Cody. 29% said other, and I'm assuming the majority of that other is people thinking that it's just another clone. 22% said tech, and 11%, which even though it's the lowest, is still pretty high. 11% said a clone of Crosshair. That's fascinating. But I'm going to start up a new poll about Rogue Squadron. So, this is the question. Are you excited for Rogue Squadron? I'm going to do 3 options, yes, no, and maybe, because you guys like the maybe category for some reason. I'm going to put maybe in there. Oh, shit. Let me type it. Maybe. We're going to put maybe in there just for you guys who really like that maybe category. But are you excited for Rogue Squadron? Okay? And Maggie says, what is Rogue Squadron? That's a great question because not a lot of people actually know what it is. So Rogue Squadron, let's talk about it. What is Rogue Squadron? Great question. So Patty Jenkins, ever heard of her? Patty Jenkins is a director who directed Wonder Woman and Wonder Woman 2. Let me find this article really quickly. Yeah, here we go. So this is Patty Jenkins on the set of Wonder Woman. This is her right here, Patty Jenkins. And that's Gal Gadot, who plays Wonder Woman. Is it Gal Gadot or Gal Gadot? Gadot dot? Is she made of dough or is she made of dots? But regardless, this is Patty Jenkins, the director. She is set to direct a Rogue Squadron movie for Star Wars. Now, this movie was announced in 2020, along with the announcement of like Ahsoka and a lot of other stuff. Rangers of the New Republic, I believe Tales of the Jedi, Indiana Jones movie, Willow movie, like a show actually. All this like massive update in 2020. You remember that? That giant, I think it was an investor call or something. That huge meeting where they announced so many projects. Rogue Squadron was one of them. It was in 2020. It was supposed to be the next Star Wars movie. And Patty Jenkins even released a video. Actually, does that video even exist anymore? Let's look it up. Patty Jenkins Rogue Squadron. Let's see. Does this video still exist? Oh, it does. Okay, cool. Let's watch this. Let's watch this video. So this is the video that was released with the announcement that Patty Jenkins was doing Rogue Squadron. So this video was what was announced about the movie. Let's watch this. Oh, whoops. Let's watch this.
I love to move fast and speed of any kind. I think that that's because I grew up the daughter of a great fighter pilot, and every day I would wake up and go outside and look up and see my father and his squadron taking off and their F-4s roaring across the sky, and it was the most thrilling thing still I've experienced in my entire life. So when he lost his life in service to this country, it ignited a desire in me to turn all of that tragedy and thrill into one day making the greatest fighter pilot movie of all time. But try as I might and look as I did, I couldn't find the right story ever. I kept looking and looking, but I just couldn't find the right one until now. Now I found a movie about two things I love. So I'm gonna see you very soon.
So that was the announcement for Rogue Squadron. That was the video that was shown 3 years ago. 3 years ago, that video dropped. And as Nick says in the chat, I'm pumped. Does that not get you ridiculously excited? It was her dad who fought in the army, or the Air Force. I could not think of that for the life of me. Fought in the Air Force, and he flew as a fighter pilot for the Air Force. And she saw that and wanted to make the best fighter pilot movie ever created, but she could never find the right story. And then she ran into Star Wars, which is something else that she loves, which is huge to hear. So yes, like Rose says, it's Top Gun meets Star Wars, pretty much. For those of you who know what Top Gun is. Do you guys remember this trailer dropping? This was 3 years ago. Give me a 1 in the chat if you remember this trailer dropping. But this got people excited. It did. It was after the sequel trilogy dropped, and people were pretty upset about that. But this did get people excited. A movie about fighter pilots in Star Wars, it seems like a small sort of side movie, like a Solo, like a Rogue One, but it sounds cool, especially after Top Gun Maverick came out. Especially after that movie made like $2 billion, it's the perfect time to make this type of movie. Now, the only problem with it is this trailer drops and then 3 years of nothing. We heard absolutely nothing for 3 whole years about Rogue Squadron until last year it got delayed indefinitely. Last year at Star Wars Celebration, we got 3 movies announced. 3. The Dave Filoni Mandoverse movie, the James Mangold Dawn of the Jedi movie, and the Rey New Jedi Order movie. Since then, we got the Mandalorian and Grogu movie directed by Jon Favreau announced as well, but those 4 movies were all announced recently. This Rogue Squadron movie, although it was announced 3 years ago, hasn't been mentioned ever since. And then last year, it got delayed indefinitely. Now, delayed indefinitely to a lot of people sounds like canceled, but that's not the case. Delayed indefinitely does not mean cancellation. It means that it's been delayed. And indefinitely means there's no set time to when it is being delayed. So sometimes when a project is delayed indefinitely, it does eventually get canceled. But that is not the case with Rogue Squadron, as now it's back on. The development is back on. So this interview with Patty Jenkins herself, this is not just some rumor going around from some source that nobody knows if it's true or not. This is Patty Jenkins herself confirming this in an interview with Collider. So let's read this article up. Let's read it all the way through. And let's talk about this. Are we excited for Rogue Squadron? Are we ready for this movie? And when the hell is it going to come out? And not only that, but when is it going to take place in the Star Wars timeline? We get that it's going to be a fighter pilot movie, but in what war? With what fighters? Who's going to be in this? Like, what? Is it a Poe Dameron movie? Is it a Han Solo? Like, I really don't know. Does it take place in the time of the Republic? Does it take place in the time of the Empire? Does it take place in the time of the New Republic? Is it a Carson Teva movie? We don't know. But let's read this article first. This is coming from Collider. Patty Jenkins claims that she is back working on Rogue Squadron. Okay. Let's read the... Should we zoom in one more time, maybe? Nope, I guess not. All right. In a stunning turn of events, Patty Jenkins has claimed that she has signed a new deal with Lucasfilm and Disney to return to work as the writer and director of a Rogue Squadron movie, which was agreed just prior to the summer's strikes. Jenkins, who left the role in order to make Wonder Woman 3, told host Ben Mankiewicz, on the Max podcast, Talking Pictures, that she has signed an agreement to return to the galaxy far, far away. For their part, Disney has provided no further updates on the project since it was put on the calendar back in 2022. Pulled from the calendar in 2022. So in 2022, I guess it was 2 years ago, not last year, it was pulled from the calendar and delayed indefinitely until now. Rogue Squadron was first announced in 2020, like we just said, and we watched the trailer for it, when Disney was still trying to define the future for Star Wars universe after the release of Rise of Skywalker. But very little details followed other than it was the new generation of Rebel Alliance fighters as they sought to become the best flying squadron in the galaxy. Jenkins was announced as the director in a new short video explaining why, which we just watched. So this is a description, very little description of what it could be about. It's the new generation of Rebel Alliance fighters as they sought to become the best flying squadron in the galaxy. What's interesting about this is after Rise of Skywalker, the war is over. The war is done. So what Rebel Alliance is this talking about? The Rebel Alliance of the original trilogy? It does say the new generation. I don't know. Interesting. Jenkins wanted to create Rogue Squadron to fulfill her ambition of making it the ultimate fighter pilot movie, a dream inspired by her late father, Captain William T. Jenkins, of the U.S. Air Force pilot who served during the Vietnam War. Jenkins aimed to combine her love with the high-speed thrill and the expansive universe of the Star Wars to honor her father's memory and her fascination with aerial combat, striving to create a movie that captures the essence of both. However, she left the project to make Wonder Woman 3, before subsequently losing that project in the wake of the DC studio overtaking by James Gunn and Peter Safran. Now she says that she is back in the cockpit after the last after last commenting that the project 15 months ago. So let's talk about that for a second. She left Rogue Squadron and Star Wars to go do Wonder Woman 3 for DC. That's why she left. That's why this project got delayed indefinitely. It's because she left to go do Wonder Woman 3. However, DC went through this whole reboot, and Wonder Woman is no longer a part of that. So Wonder Woman 3 is no longer being made. And that's what allowed Patty Jenkins to come back to Star Wars and create this movie. So that's what she's going to talk about here. So this is what Patty had to say. So when I left Star Wars to do Wonder Woman 3, I thought maybe I'll come back to do Star Wars after Wonder Woman 3. So we did a deal for that to happen. Started a deal, but I thought I was going to do Wonder Woman 3. When that went away, Lucasfilm and I were like, oh, let's just finish this deal. We finished the deal right as the strike was happening. So they actually did finish this deal before the writer's strike from last year. So I now own a draft of Star Wars, And so we will see what happens there. Who knows? And so we will see what happens there, who knows? Why did I just repeat that? It's hard. They have a hard job in front of them, and what's the first of what their first movie is going to do, which is the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. They have other directors who have been working, but I am now, I'm back doing Rogue Squadron, and we'll see what happens. We need to develop, why does she keep saying, get it where we both are super happy with it. So she is working on Rogue Squadron, and she's no longer working on Wonder Woman 3. So let's just talk about that for a second. Let's talk about that briefly before we talk about, actually, let's just finish this article first because, it's not much longer. Okay. For her part, Jenkins was massively enthusiastic about the prospect of making a Star Wars movie and insisted on that the theme of fighter pilots and good versus evil married together perfectly, claiming that to make a project like this would be a dream. Star Wars is what she said. Star Wars is beautiful. The emotion of Star Wars what it stands for is something so beautiful in this world that particularly in this moment that we are at right now, where Star Wars was born out of World War II, right? She said. It's born out of how do you make a metaphor and talk in metaphor, right? Exactly. And so in that, I've always wanted to make a fighter pilot movie. It's been a dream. So she wants to combine a cool fighter pilot movie with Star Wars. And that seems pretty damn cool to me, if you ask me. And what sets this aside from other Star Wars projects like a Rey movie or the sequel trilogy in general is the fact that it's somebody who wants to write a Star Wars movie. It's not just somebody who's being brought on and being told, look, go write a Star Wars movie. This is your job, whatever. This is somebody who wants to do it. It's their passion project. And the best Star Wars comes out of that when it's a passion project. Look at The Mandalorian with Jon Favreau. Jon Favreau wanted to make The Mandalorian so bad that he literally stalked Dave Filoni and pitched it to him. And Dave Filoni was like, yeah, this is good. And then they made The Mandalorian. Same thing with Rogue One. Rogue One is a passion project for Gareth Edwards and Tony Gilroy, and that's what comes out of it. Same with Andor for Tony Gilroy. Then you have the original trilogy with George Lucas. He did everything he could to make that his own movie, not with Hollywood on his back, and actually have it be his own story, and look what happens. So I think that's the best thing that's going for this Rogue Squadron movie, is that Patty Jenkins, it's her literal lifelong dream to make this movie. A fighter pilot Star Wars movie. And that's what excites me about Rogue Squadron. And that's why I, of course, would select yes on that poll, that I am excited for this project. But let's see what you guys think. Are you excited for Rogue Squadron? Does this excite you at all? Tell me in the chat. I see Maggie says, what were the writer strikes? So the writers went on strike from about May of 2023 to September of 2023. And the reason they did that was because they were trying to renegotiate their contracts. A lot of AI stuff and a lot of residual stuff with streaming were probably the two main topics. They wanted to just get better contracts because with AI booming and streaming services not really paying any royalties or anything like that, they wanted just better contracts, and that's what ended up happening. Yeah. All right, so what do we think about Rogue Squadron? Are we excited for it? And when do you think this is going to come out? Because we just talked about the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, Dave Filoni's movie, Dawn of the Jedi, the Rey movie, and we know that there are 3 untitled Star Wars movies release dates. That's May of 2026, December of 2026, and December of 2027. And those 3 movies are most likely going to be, in order, Mando and Grogu movie, Rey movie, and Dawn of the Jedi movie. Probably shortly followed by Dave Filoni's movie. So when is Rogue Squadron going to fit into that equation? I don't think it does. I think it's going to be later than those movies. So I think we're going to get 4 movies before Rogue Squadron. And although I do think Rogue Squadron will happen, it won't happen for a long time. It'll sort of be like a spin-off movie, like a Solo or a Rogue One, that doesn't really have too much to do with anything. It's just going to be a fun movie that happens to be in Star Wars. So I think it wouldn't happen until maybe 2028 at the soonest, and that's 4 years away. 4 years, which is crazy. Nick says, how's her directing? I never saw Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman 1 is incredible. It's like one of the best superhero movies that isn't like a collab movie like a Avengers or whatever that's ever made. Wonder Woman 2 might be one of the worst Wonder Woman movies or any superhero movies I've ever seen in my life. So, and it's like a stacked cast too. It's got Pedro Pascal as the villain, and it's not good. So, I don't know. She's 50-50 for me. I just hope that, yes, she does have the directing style, but it's because it's a passion project for her. It's because that it's in Star Wars. It's a fighter pilot to honor her father. Like, that excites me. But how is her directing? Directing-wise, those 2 movies aren't terrible. The first one's incredible, but just the plot of the second one is not good. Yeah. All right, let me catch up on some chat here. So it's like Top Gun meets Star Wars. Yes, exactly, Rose. I think I'd be more excited about Rogue Squadron than the Rey movie. I hate to say it. That's a big thing, too. Is we're getting a Mandalorian and Grogu movie. That sounds awesome. Dave Filoni's Mando movie sounds awesome. James Mangold, Dawn of the Jedi sounds awesome. But then we're getting a Rey movie. And a lot of fans aren't that excited for it. I kind of am, because I'm hoping that they can fix a lot of these characters, for lack of a better word. But a Rogue Squadron movie might be higher on my anticipation list than the Rey movie. And that's just a fact. Yeah. Nick says, maybe it'll be about Kaz Ziono from the show Resistance. Lots of flying in that show. I doubt it. I think that show went over poorly, so I don't think they'll be taking characters from that show. But maybe. Yeah. Yeah. Chris says, I'm very excited. Me too. Honestly, me too. Alex says, sounds interesting. Has it been confirmed officially? Well, that is officially confirmed. Patty Jenkins, who's directing it herself, just confirmed that she signed a contract with Lucasfilm before the writer's strike last year, and she's currently working on a script. She owes Disney a script right now. So she's working on it right now. This isn't coming from some random source. Somebody said that he said that she said that he said that she said. This is coming from her mouth. I was going to say the horse's mouth, but that sounds mean. Directly from the horse's mouth is a saying, guys, okay? Directly from Patty Jenkins' mouth. Yeah. Maggie says, this sounds like a great movie. I agree. A lot of fans, honestly, didn't seem too excited online. Like, why make just a spin-off movie of some fighter pilots? It sounds cool to me. Some of the lower-level stuff in Star Wars is some of the best. I mean, you look at the Clone Wars, you look at Rebels, you look at the Bad Batch. Even the spin-off episodes are really good. I mean, so many fans have fallen in love with characters like Captain Rex, who's a clone, or Hondo Ohnaka, who's just a side character in the Clone Wars. So having a movie focused around those side characters, those pilots, would be really, really cool. Especially after Top Gun Maverick did what it did in the box office just a few short years ago. Supernova20 says, I like Star Wars Resistance series. Really? I haven't even watched it. I'm going to be completely honest. I don't even know if I got through the full first episode, but I just couldn't do it. Honestly, the animation style was not for me, and it just felt too off. I really don't know what it was, but yeah, I wish they really did the Resistance, give it a chance. I might have to, just because I've watched everything Star Wars except for that, but I wish they just did it in the same style as Clone Wars, because it could have added so much more to the sequel trilogy, honestly. But that's just me. That's just me. All right, let's see. Let's see. We talked about Rogue Squadron. Oh, 40 minutes ago. Hang on. We're going back to the Bad Batch. 40 minutes ago, Star Wars Newsnet just posted this. Holy shit. Lucasfilm reveals name of mysterious clone assassin in the Bad Batch and 2 new clips. Hang on. Hang on. Guys, we got to talk about this. This is breaking news. Breaking news. Breaking news.
This is where the fun begins.
This article is coming from 40 minutes ago from the Star Wars Newsnet. Lucasfilm reveals the name of the mysterious clone assassin in the Bad Batch and 2 new clips. Let's read this. Following the release of yesterday's 2-episode release of the Bad Batch, speculation has swirled regarding the as yet unrevealed clone assassin. Today, the official Star Wars account on X, formerly known as Twitter, dropped the clone assassin's name, CX2. What the fuck? This breadcrumb doesn't really reveal much, but it is certainly worth noting as we move deeper into the Tantus cloning plotline. Mother bleeper. The Bad Batch meet the deadly Clone X2 in 2 unforgettable episodes. Explore the latest installments of the Bad Batch in our new Galaxy guides. Are you kidding? Don't do Can't do that to me. Just say that they revealed the name and then just call it CX2. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. The first clone assassin was named CX1. Clickbait. Clickbait is right. That hurt my feelings. All right, we gotta see what the hell is going on here. We gotta see what the hell is going on here, don't we? A nondescript location in the Pantora City Center. Senator Chuchi meets up with Senator Singh to discuss an alliance. By the way, nobody really talks about this scene. This scene was extremely important. Senator Chuchi and Senator Singh's discussion in that first scene of episode 6, very important, against the Empire. The conversation is cut short, however, when the Clone X trooper attempts to assassinate Singh, but is thankfully stopped by Rex and his rogues. Cracking the assassin's data puck, they learn that Omega is also on the targeted list. This is just a recap of the episode. But this is the first Clone X trooper that they meet. And then let's go back and this one. Here we go. Following the battle with Clone X Trooper CT2, Rex and the Bad Batch look to escape Teth. Meanwhile, Commander Wolf, now in service of the Empire, arrives with reinforcements, but he quickly clashes with the mysterious CX2 over how to proceed. It all leads to the deadly confrontation between Crosshair and CX2, and an impossible choice for Wolf, who must decide the fate of his old friends. So, that reveals the name of this mysterious clone assassin, CX2. I guess it's a name. It's his code name for now, but that's a bummer. I just got really high hopes, and then they just got shot down. Yeah. Ooh, here we go. Alex says C and C could stand for Cody, and 2 could be his number because it's CT2224. Interesting. I doubt it, but that's good. That's good. That's good. So I guess we figured it out. I guess we figured it out. An hour and a half into the stream, we did it. Round of applause. Pat yourself on the back. We did it. The name of the clone is CX2. Okay, but this doesn't really mean anything, honestly. Yes, they give it a name as a code name, whatever. But that does not mean that it's not tech, a clone version of Crosshair. It's not Commander Cody. It could be somebody. It could be anybody. Having this be revealed that it's just CX2 is just a code name. That doesn't give us much of anything. But that's okay. Why does it say this? The era of the reign. What? I didn't know this. StarWars.com has a whole entire freaking... That's cool. They got the whole timeline on here. Dawn of the Jedi, Old Republic, High Republic, Fall of the Jedi, Reign of the Empire, Age of Rebellion, New Republic, Rise of Resistance, and New Jedi Order. What's interesting is you can click on all these to see what's in there, except for the last one in the first one, which is Dawn of the Jedi and New Jedi Order, which is the Rey movie and the James Mangold movie. But you can click on the Old Republic. Do I dare click on it? Do I dare click on the Old Republic? Well, let's see. If I click on, like, Rise of the First Order. Oh, it takes me to what events take place in that? Okay, now we got to click on the Old Republic. You kidding me? Do I click on it? Should 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 I click on it? I'm clicking on it. And we can't click on that. Can click on that. Can click. Okay. Should I click on it? Should I click on it? Just waiting for one of you guys to say click on it. Click it already. Okay, I'll click. Oh, there's nothing there. This is High Republic. The Republic is founded among the worlds of the galactic core, and the Jedi Order emerges to protect it. A schism within the Jedi leads to the creation of the Sith in this epic era. That's it? The 25,000 years of the Old Republic is summarized into this boring-ass sentence? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? That's insane. I can't wait till we get Old Republic content so that they can fill up this right here. Obviously, the High Republic is going to add on the Acolyte at some point, but right now it's just the High Republic books and Young Jedi Adventure. This is actually pretty cool. Fall of the Jedi is Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith, Tales of the Jedi, and Clone Wars. Reign of the Empire. This is crazy. This is just the time period between the prequels and the original trilogy, and there is so much in here. Cat's Paw, what is up? Bad Batch, Jedi Fallen Order, Jedi Survivor, Kenobi, Solo, Vader Immortal, Rebels, and or Rogue One. That's a lot. Now this is the Age of Rebellion, the original trilogy, Battlefront 2, and Squadrons. The New Republic, which is just for now The Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, and Ahsoka, but there'll be 2 movies at least, hopefully a third in there as well. Skeleton Crew, and probably some more seasons of these shows. The Rise of the First Order is the sequel trilogy. Rise and Fall, I guess. And Tales of Galaxy's Edge and Resistance. New Jedi Order has nothing yet. That's pretty cool, actually. I didn't know that StarWars.com had this. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. So if you click on this, and can you click on it? Oh, you can click on the individual things, too. And it gives you... This is interesting. So if you go like Bad Batch... Oh, and it shows us this? That's cool. That's pretty cool. I didn't realize StarWars.com was that nifty. Ain't it nifty? Okay, let me catch up on some chats here. Give it a chance. Alex says, I actually liked it. It is for kids, but I discovered my new favorite character is Opie Pitt. Okay, maybe I'll have to watch it. Clickbait, yeah, it really was. Chris says, Star Wars Resistance Season 2 talks about the Resistance Empire in it, Mike. You should give it hope for the first season, I mean. But in the second season, it's pretty interesting. How many seasons is it? It's only 2 seasons? Okay. I might have to check it out then. Maggie says, fighter pilots don't get the recognition they deserve in Star Wars, and real-life pilots. Yeah, I think fighter pilot movie sounds pretty cool. Yeah. New Bad Batch posters? Oh, I did see them. Yeah, let's take a look at those. Why not? I did see those, but let's look at them anyway. let's look at them anyway. Oh, and by the way, guys, somebody posted this. This could be an Acolyte trailer. So somebody posted this. I don't know how they found this, but there's a private video apparently for May the 4th. Somehow, some way they found this on Disney Plus. I'm guessing this is an Acolyte trailer, meaning we're probably going to get an Acolyte trailer on May the 4th. But it also could be like anything else, honestly. It could be a documentary. It could be anything. So I don't get your hopes up on that, but I just thought I'd tell you guys. I thought I'd tell you. All right. Let's look at these posters. Let's take a gander. So this one of Wolf is actually pretty cool. We'll start with Wolf. So this one of Wolf is awesome. It's kind of like a behind him look. Wolf has some of the coolest armor. Definitely not gonna lie. Then we got Rex and Echo together, which is interesting because obviously Echo went off with Rex, but putting them together is pretty cool. Yeah. So that's those two. Batcher gets his own, which is hilarious. Omega and Crosshair get their own together, but that's when they're imprisoned. Then we get them out of prison. We get Hunter and Wrecker together, which is cool. And we get Crosshair there, which is cool. Interesting. And then we get the bad guys. Emperor Palps right there, and Hemlock and Emery right there too. And Emery's looking real weird like at Hemlock. And that's all of them, I think. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Cool. I don't think there's any new scenes in that. Cool. So those are the new posters. All right. Let's get back to the topic at hand. Who is under that mask? Now we know for a fact that it is CX2. That's the official name of this clone trooper. But before we get out of here, we got a little bit more time today. Before we get out of here, please, after this whole 2-hour conversation, who do you think is under that mask? Put it into the chat. Do you think it's Tech? Do you think it's Crosshair? Do you think it's a clone of Crosshair? Do you think it's Commander Cody? And why? Please tell me why. Yeah. All right, let me catch up on some chats while you do that. Supernova says, I'm going to look forward to the Acolyte series. Acolyte's going to be good. I'm excited for Acolyte 2 because hopefully we get a trailer soon. Acolyte's going to be fun because it's in the High Republic era and we haven't been there yet. It's a live action show. It's a brand new cast of characters, all that stuff. But I'm looking forward to it too. Yeah. Fearless says, gosh, I thought they would reveal him. Now it's just simply CX2. Yeah, I didn't think they would reveal who the character is under the mask in an article. I think they'll definitely save that for the show. They're keeping it under wraps for a while, for a reason, I should say. So, guess we'll have to wait and see. Think about it, though. Usually, information like this gets leaked out there. Unless it's something of extreme importance. Like, we knew Marok was coming in the Ahsoka show a long time ago. This clone assassin has been kept a secret for so long that he just has to be important. Yeah. Audrey, what's up? How's it going? I'll get to your chat in a second. Kylo Ren once said, my father came not from spice, not from riches. Did he really? That's actually a great line. Ian says, I'm going to slap you if you don't click on it. Oh, well, good thing I clicked on it. Yikes. Yikes. Cat's Paw, what is up? Chris says, the Old Republic one sounds boring right now. I know, the Old Republic is such a literal, like, infinite amount of possibilities with all the Sith and the Jedi. Like, that sounds it's so stupid that they summarized it that stupidly, you know? Alex says, I don't know if you've already seen the Acolyte Twitter handle that is still private. Yeah, I posted about that on Twitter. That's pretty cool. People have noticed this. I'll pull it up for you. People have noticed this. I posted it on Twitter. If you guys aren't following me on Twitter, go follow me on Twitter. Like, what are you waiting for? But yes, I posted this. There it is. So this is the Acolyte It's tagged with Star Wars. It's a locked account. It's private right now. It's the official Acolyte thing, and they're setting it up for hopefully a release of a trailer sometime soon. Now we don't know when. Like, just them setting up that account doesn't mean that they're going to release a trailer anytime soon, but hopefully it does. Yeah. Yeah. Audrey says Rogue Squadron would always be in the shadows of Top Gun. The second Top Gun was so freaking good. I don't see it living up or really doing that well. Better to just never make it, in my opinion. Okay, Audrey, I get that. I do get that. That it won't live up to the hype that Top Gun Maverick made. But let me put it in a different perspective for you. Look at Star Wars. Star Wars was created after Star Trek, after Dune, after, can't really think of any others, but there were other intergalactic Star War movies-esque movies before Star Wars. George Lucas didn't see that as, oh, that's competition and I'm not going to beat that, so I'm not going to make this story. It's a different story in a different galaxy. So yes, there already is Top Gun Maverick and Top Gun, but that doesn't necessarily mean that a Top Gun in Star Wars wouldn't make a lot of money, wouldn't be really good, wouldn't do all that other stuff. So I get what you're saying, but I disagree. I think it could be really good. Yeah. What is the fate of Rampart? Supernova says. I think he just got imprisoned by the Empire, so probably just imprisonment for life. I don't know. All right, so here's what you guys think. Who's under the mask? Cospaw says Cody. Maggie says a well-trained clone. Ian says, I think it's Cody because of how much attention that he is getting. Interesting. Fearless says, I'm still convinced that it's Cody. I am too. Audrey says, I think they want people to think that it's Tech, but I'm leaning towards a misdirect. I definitely think it's a misdirect, and maybe it's a misdirect for Tech, but I think it's probably because of it being Cody. Just because I really, really want it to be Cody. Oh, your pal Joe, who was already a member for 6 months, but now is rejoined as a member. Your pal Joe. Welcome to the people who love Star Wars. Oh yeah. Welcome back, your pal Joe. I appreciate it. Nick says, anyone but Tech, please. Honestly, Nick, you're not the only one. A lot of people don't want it to be Tech for many different reasons. They want it to be Zap, what is up? They want it to be not Tech because of Tech's death in Season 2. They want it to be somebody else because of how important Tech's death was in Season 2. And I kind of agree with that. Audrey agrees too and says, yeah, I think Tech would be too cliche. I didn't have a chance to come in also the other day, but did anyone hear the BS rumor about Finn and Rey having kids? What? I did not hear that. People making stuff up, and honestly, that will never happen in my opinion. I have not heard about that, but no, I have not heard about that. Finn and Rey having a kid? I did not hear about that, Audrey. I didn't. But that's crazy. Fearless says, we've never seen it. Wait, we've never seen it or heard from Cody. So it really could be him. Poor guy if it's true. Yeah, that's the thing. If it's true that it is Cody, it's going to be a pretty sad ending to him. You know? It's going to be a pretty sad ending for his character. Because he is such a cool character. He's an important character. He was the clone commander of the 212th, which was Obi-Wan's Legion. But his character does have to come to an end at some point. My big thing is, if you're going to kill off Cody, if you're going to kill off Crosshair, if you're going to kill off Hunter, if you're going to kill off Rex, if you're going to kill off Echo, if you're going to kill off all these characters, how are you going to have enough time or spend enough time on each individual character's death to make them meaningful, or as meaningful as Tech's was in Season 2, as Five's was in the Clone Wars? How are you going to spend so much time on all these characters' deaths to make them all feel meaningful? You know what I'm saying? Like, how are you going to do that? How do you have enough time to do that? That's what makes me feel like some characters are going to die before we get to that finale. Before we even reach the end is when some of these characters will die. And that's why when we were doing the watch party last night, or whatever it was, 2 nights ago, I was kind of like, is Crosshair going to die right now? Because there's a possibility that one of these characters could die very early on in this season to sort of leave us not only wanting more, but giving us enough time to have each character have a meaningful death, you know? Cat's Paw says, love your Twitter. Lots of information and speculation. Yeah, we have a lot of fun on Twitter. It's my smallest platform with only about 1,600 followers, but it's a lot of fun on there, and a lot of people are very, very passionate on Twitter about Star Wars, and that's what's kind of cool. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Oh. This just made my day. Your pal Joe gifted 1 membership, and it goes to Maggie. Maggie! Welcome to the people who love Star Wars! Wow. Thank you, your pal Joe. That was very, very generous, Joe. I appreciate that quite a bit. And it's very nice to see it go to somebody like Maggie, who is very supportive of the channel around all the time and gets to become a member. That is very, very generous. I appreciate that, Joe. I really, really do. Congratulations, Maggie. Welcome to the people who love Star Wars. I appreciate that. You are now in for the giveaway at the end of the month. Whew. That just hit me in the feels right there. I don't know why. Where was I? Chris says, Mike, if they do not add any more content to the Old Republic, then it sounds boring. What? Those two, do you agree with me? What? I'm confused. If they don't add more content, or if they do add more content, you're not watching it? Because it sounds boring? I disagree. I think the Old Republic is probably the best spot ever to have Star Wars content. That would be pretty awesome. Yeah. I got a question, Joe, actually, as you just gifted Maggie a did you get to choose who you gifted it to? Because I know Tony's done it before, and I wonder if he got to choose. I was just wondering. I don't know how that process works. Nick says, where would you like the Rogue Squadron movie to take place in the timeline? That's a great question. And let me open up that question up to the chat. Where would you want to see Rogue Squadron take place in the Star Wars timeline? Like, would it be a Poe Dameron movie? I don't know if Oscar Isaac is going to want to come on and do that, set in the sequel trilogy. Is it going to be a Carson Teva movie where it's the fighter pilots of the New Republic fighting against Thrawn? That would be kind of cool. Is it going to be in the Rebellion? Is it going to be during the time of the Empire? Could it be Wedge? Wedge, what's his name? Dennis Lawson, who plays Wedge, who's the uncle of Ewan McGregor. Could it be him during the time of the Empire? Or could it be, I guess it really couldn't be a pilot during the time of the Clone Wars, because that would just be a clone. But what time do you want it to take place? Could it be after the events of the sequel trilogy and with this new threat or something? Yeah. Cool, Joe. Yeah, I appreciate that. I get that. That makes sense. Makes sense. Cool. But where do you want it to take place? It's a great question. I think if I were to put where I want it to take place, I'd probably say Carson Teva. A New Republic time period where it would be him fighting against the remnant of the Empire. That would be pretty cool, because he's kind of the guy who's discovering that the Empire still exists out here, and Coruscant's not listening to him. So it would be like a rogue squadron. It would be a rogue squadron. That's exactly what it would be. It would actually be perfect, because he's not listening to Coruscant. He's not listening to what the New Republic is telling him to do. He's still fighting against the Empire, that type of stuff. I think that would be a pretty good spot. Cat's Paw says after the sequels, but after the sequels, you'd need a villain to fight against. You need somebody to fight against, but maybe it'd be pirates or whomever. Yeah. Audrey says, so maybe adapt Alphabet Squadron type ideas. Yeah, you could do something like that too. Yeah. 2. True. Yeah. True. But I think Carson Teva would probably work the best because he is rogue and he would be a part of that squadron. Now, you could also bring in Harrison Dula. Here's the thing. It could be pretty much based off of the Squadron game. Has anybody played the Squadron Star Wars flying game? Have you ever played that? But Harrison Dula is in that game too. And I believe it takes place in the time of the New Republic as well. If we can check the Star Wars timeline thing here. Let's see. Squadrons takes place in the Age of the Rebellion. So it takes place right after the original trilogy. So yeah, it's right in that same time period. Yeah. Or in that time period at some point. So it could be that. Could be an extension of that. Yeah. Could be. Could be. Your pal Joe says, hey, what's up? Been playing the new Battlefront collections. It's nice. I'm dropping achievements left and right. All right, Joe, I got a question for you. The new Battlefront game, I haven't played it yet. And I don't really intend on doing it anymore. I was going to, but I've heard pretty bad things. Has it been like crashing on you? Is it hard to get into games? Is the combat not really that smooth? I've heard some pretty bad things, honestly, Joe, that have deterred me from the game. Are you having fun? Are you having fun? Audrey says, whoa, almost 20K subscribers? It was like 9 a few weeks ago. I know, Audrey. I know. It's absolutely insane. Let me put it into perspective for you guys for a quick second here. We hit 10K. We had our 10K celebration last Saturday. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. What's today? Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday. 6 days, and we've almost doubled in size. Doubled. I don't know why I'm going like this when I say doubled. We've almost doubled it.
I got a bad feeling about this.
We've almost doubled in size. We've almost doubled in size in less than a week. Almost cup time, Mike. Yeah, so if you guys weren't here on that Saturday stream, I did promise that when we hit 100K, I will be dumping this on my head, fully full of water. And actually, I said that the girl who loves Star Wars will make her first appearance at 100K, and she will dump this cup of water on my head. Yeah. But I appreciate that. It's absolutely insane. I can't wrap my head around it. Obviously, we had a few videos sort of pop off, and that's why we're going on this big run, and hopefully the big run continues. But I appreciate all of you. You guys who come watch the live streams, you are the ones who support the most, the ones who chat in the live streams, smash a like on the live streams. The live streams are the things that I love to do the most because I get to sit here and have conversations with you guys. But making shorts, making videos, that stuff is so much fun. But I feel like the live streams is where it's at. But the live streams are what get me the least amount of views. So everybody's like, why do you live stream 3 times a week for 2 hours? Like, that's a lot of live streaming. How do you even talk for that long? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I got a bunch of cool Star Wars fans who want to talk with me 3 times a week for 2 hours. And honestly, they probably do it for a lot longer. So I appreciate you guys the most. If I could appreciate anybody the most, I appreciate you guys the most for watching the live streams. It helps the most, I think. Maybe not in views or money or any type of aspect like that, but it is, I think, the most important thing to me for the channel, at least. So I appreciate you guys. Appreciate you. But let's get to 20K. Let's fucking get to 20K. Let's do it. Yeah. Ian says, how do you talk so much? We can't shut you up. Is this better? Is this better? Is this better? I appreciate the hearts, guys. I do. Your pal Joe says, yeah, Mike, we appreciate it. I appreciate you, okay? You don't appreciate me. I appreciate you. I forbid you to appreciate me. That was funny. I don't know why that was funny. Your pal Joe with his 7-month member. Wow. That 6-month member badge does not look any cooler. I actually don't remember, you pal Joe, what your 1-year membership badge looks like. So I'll have to double check that, but I'm guessing it's cool. Yeah. Audrey says, yeah, Finn and Rey rumor with kids was debunked, so it's not true, but it had large backlash to it mostly. Yeah, I would expect that. Yeah. Darth Drew, what is up? I'm glad you're back, Darth Drew. We missed you. Daisy Ridley just said, too, right after the rumors that Rey won't have kids because she's a Jedi at this time. I don't know. I don't know if I would like Rey with kids. I like the whole maybe her having twins, and it would be very poetic, like Padme had twins, she has twins type thing. And it would be cool, but yeah, I don't know. Your pal Joe says, we might need a 9-month badge. I don't think that's how it works. I think it's programmed into YouTube, so I can't really give you a 9-month badge. But I think it goes like 1 month, 2 month, 3 month, and then 6 month a year. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Audrey says, I wish they released all the Bad Batch episodes at once. Okay, Audrey, as much as that sounds amazing, and we want to know who the clone assassin is, we want to know all the answers, we want to see the end, obviously, I completely disagree with this. I think having the weekly releases is the greatest thing ever. If I had a weekly release of a Star Wars show every week of the year, which is 52 weeks, if you didn't know there was 52 weeks in a year, 52 weeks of the year, that would be amazing. 52 weeks of speculation, 52 weeks of live streams, prediction streams, all this awesome stuff would be the most ideal world to live in. That would be incredible. I would absolutely love that. And Nick says, what time are your streams? Nick, I'm a very inconsistent man. But usually, let me tell you, they're usually at 1 p.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays or 2 p.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays. On the off chance, maybe a 4 p.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays, but that is very unlikely. And then on Saturdays, it's either 2 p.m. or 4 p.m. And rarely it's 6 p.m. But usually 1 p.m., 2 p.m., or 4 p.m. on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. I know I want to get to a more secure schedule, but my schedule and just my real life is so crazy that sometimes it has to change on those days, so I can't put a specific schedule. But if my ideal world is 2 p.m. on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and 4 p.m. on Saturdays. That's my ideal time. But yeah. Star Wars for Life, what is up? Cat's Paw says, it would be interesting if at the end, before we go to the credits, we see Tech floating in a Bacta tank and one of the scientist's sisters standing with a typing and standing there typing on a pad. That would be cool, but before a credit scene with Tech, that would mean that Tech is still alive after the end of the Bad Batch, which wouldn't really give us much because where is he? You know? Yeah. Your pal Joe says, for Battlefront, I heard that Battlefront 1 is working great. Online, Battlefront 2 has a lot of issues. Okay. Single player works incredible. Okay, I get you. So online, it's just kind of buggy, especially for Battlefront 2. I get you. Cool. Cool. Darth Drew says, a live action 35-minute weekly release just depresses me. Yeah, so when it's a weekly release for the live action shows and it's only like 30 minutes, that's what people kind of get upset about because then you have to wait a whole nother week for just another 30 minutes. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. All right, hang on. Where was I? Maggie says, thank you so much. Oh my gosh. That's awesome. Maggie deserves it. Fearless says, not my idea, but I heard on another chat someone saying, what if it was Cody and Rex that have to fight, and Rex has to fight him at the end and eventually has to kill him? That would be insane. I really like this idea. Yeah, it would be wild if Rex was the one who had to kill Commander Cody. Like having to kill your own brother type thing. It's like Anakin versus Obi-Wan all over again. Like that would be insane. That would be so wild. And I feel like that's what they're waiting for. Like Rex has to be in the room when it's revealed that it's Cody. He has to be. And maybe Rex actually kills him before he finds out and then rips his helmet off and sees that it's Cody. Imagine that. He kills Cody and then finds out that it's Cody. That would be heartbreaking. Yeah. Maggie says, I was cleaning and listening to the stream. I did not expect that. I can't thank you enough, Joe. This is my favorite channel, and I really appreciate that. Well, Maggie, I appreciate that. That was very nice. But yeah, welcome to the people who love Star Wars. Zap says, That would be great, but maybe around the Biggs and Wedge era. Yeah, it's possible that it could be around the Rebellion. This Rogue Squadron movie is what he's talking about. Could be about Wedge and Biggs, because Biggs is connected to Luke Skywalker, but it wouldn't have Luke in it, obviously. Yeah. Audrey says, I would like a Poe Dameron movie, and Oscar Isaac probably would be able to carry his own movie if he returned. I think it would be a smaller role for more money. Yeah, Oscar Isaac seems to be done with Star Wars. I don't think he had the best time with the sequel trilogy, honestly. So I don't know about that one. But I'd love to see it. I'd love to see him come back. I would. I really, really would. Do you guys want to see Poe Dameron come back? Oscar Isaac? He did survive the sequel trilogy, so he could be in the Rey movie as well. It would be cool. Twould be cool. Chris says, Mike, it's a dope game. Oh, Squadrons you're talking about? Squadrons. I haven't played it yet, but I hope it does. Zap says, Oscar Isaac wants a house. Give it to him. Yeah, I mean, if he wants to come back and you have to pay him a lot of money, just do it. Don't let your dreams be dreams. Yeah. Yeah. Zap says, a Rogue Squadron is going after the remnants. Yeah, so it would be like Carson Teva going after the remnants of the Empire. How cool would that be for a movie? That would be awesome. Yeah. Star Wars for Life says, I feel like y'all are my fam. Well, that was the whole goal, to make it feel like an actual community, like an actual family around here. So that's nice to hear. I appreciate that. Your pal Joe says, she is? I never found the game super exciting. Oh, talking about Squadrons. I want it to come to the Quest 2 so I can play it on VR. Yes, you can play it on VR, but it's only on the one, I think it's called the Rift maybe, that you plug into a PC. So I have the Quest as well, so I can't play it on there. But imagine like Star Wars in VR is such a cool experience. Like, have you ever played Vader Immortal? Give me a 1 in the chat if you've played Vader Immortal on VR. It is so cool. You're literally in Darth Vader's castle on Mustafar. That's what I was looking for. You're on his castle in Mustafar. It's so cool. And Vader's standing right in front of you, and he's towering over you because he's massive. But clearly it's not accurate because I'm as tall as Vader. But regardless, it is very cool. It is very cool. And it's like you're there. It's awesome. It's cool. Yeah. It's almost cup time, Mike. 80K more. 80K sounds insanely far, but yes. You're going to hit 20K by tomorrow? I hope so. That would be awesome. That would be so cool. That would be awesome. Your pal Joe says, combat and graphics are smooth in the single player, but I've heard crazy things about the online for this Battlefront thing. No servers and stuff. That sucks. I would wait to buy it if you're not a hardcore fan of the series. Well, obviously I am, and I was going to, but then I heard all these problems, and I was like, well, if I can't play online, then what's the point, you know? Yeah. Fearless says, Mike, your channel is growing like crazy. I know. Audrey says, Clownfish. Not that I am a fan of them, but they are almost at 300,000, and more now are starting out at that same place. I don't know who Clownfish is, but okay. Yeah, here's my thing. For you guys, if you guys are like, oh my God, you're almost at 20,000 subscribers, how is that possible? The thing is, everybody starts at 0, and most people just quit before they get anywhere. This is year 4. Yeah, year 4 of the channel. And we are just now doubling up in a week of subscribers. So it took me 4 years to almost, or 3.5, whatever it is, to get to 10. Now, some people go a lot faster than that. Some people, it took me a while to get into this groove. I didn't start live streaming till last year, or I guess a year and a half ago. So it takes a long time to sort of figure this whole thing out. But yeah, it's nice to see all the hard work paying off. Yeah. Rose says, Rogue Squadron could be on the heels of Rogue One. That's going to be a problem, is for normie fans who hear Rogue One and Rogue Squadron and think they're the same movie. That's going to be a problem, but we'll see how they go about that. Yeah. I think they released it too early, Mike. Oh, for the Battlefront Remastered. Yeah, I don't know why they wouldn't take their time with that. They could have waited till May the 4th and done it on Star Wars Day. Like, they didn't need to rush that out. Yeah. I appreciate that, Cat's Paw. I appreciate it. Audrey says, you will end up with 300K at some point, to be honest. Audrey, that would be insane. That would be insane. Yes, Mike, people have been sharing you on X, formerly known as Twitter, and other places that I've seen. That's cool. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. For those of you who are doing that and I don't see it, I appreciate you. I really do. Makes my day to hear stuff like that. Chris says, Vader Immortal is an awesome game on VR, Mike. The effects are actually crazy. Amazing good for Vader Immortal. Yeah, I agree. I think Vader Immortal is extremely underrated. And if you haven't played it and you don't have a VR, find somebody who does and play it. It's incredible. Yeah, it's incredible. Ian says, how do you talk so much? Oh, I already read that. Yeah. Ian says, you know I love you, Mike. Well, love you right back. Yeah, Mike, we appreciate it. I appreciate you. I don't see any hearts. Oh, I see hearts. Darth Drew says, I have a lot of hopes for Lucasfilm and their projects. So this movie should have come out, this. Oh, you've lost all hope in Lucasfilm and their projects. This movie should have come out last year. Yeah, Rogue Squadron was supposed to come out in 2022, I believe, actually, or 2023 maybe. So yeah, it was supposed to come out last year. And obviously, it's not going to come out for at least like 3 or 4 more years. But that doesn't mean we've lost all hope. Come on. Come on. Chris says, and if I had to pick my favorite Star Wars game, I'd have to choose Vader Immortal and Star Wars Squadron game. Really? Those are your top 2? Favorite Star Wars game ever? I might have to say Jedi Survivor, honestly. That game was so good. I hope the Acolyte show bangs. Is that a good thing? It bangs? Yeah, I think so. I think it's a good thing. So we're going to go with it's a good thing. I hope so too. I hope Acolyte's really, really good. Yeah. 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 12-month is Anakin blue. Do you know that for a fact? How do we know that? Do you know that? How do we check that? How do we check that? How do we check that? Can we get a subscriber count? Like, what are we at now? What are we at? Can we get some likes on this stream? God damn. Just kidding. We got a bunch of likes on this stream. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. How do we check that? Oh, it is blue. You're right. Yeah, it is Anakin blue. That is true. You're right. I don't know how you knew that, but you're a genius. Yeah. Dr. Drew says, put the Rey character in a paper shredder, please. Somehow Rey has returned. Yeah. Rose says, I imagine weekly releases of episodes are much better for YouTuber streamers, more content to create over a long period of time. Yes, but even if I wasn't a YouTuber, 19.6, let's go. We're not going to hit 20K live, which kind of sucks because that means we're going to hit 20K overnight tonight or tomorrow maybe even, and we won't be live for that. That blows, but that's okay. Where was I? What was I just talking about? Weekly releases. Yes. So even if I wasn't a Star Wars streamer, I would still think that the weekly release is better. Yes, getting them all at the same time is nice, but if you actually get to see it weekly, then you have something to look forward to every week. Because if it came out all at once, you'd watch it all at once like that, and you'd be done. Then you'd wait the rest of the year and have nothing to look forward to. Then when the next show comes out, you watch it all at once, and it's done. Then you have to wait the rest of the year with nothing to look forward to. And that's why I like having to look forward to something every week. It's nice. Yeah. Star Wars for Life says, a Rex versus Cody would be like Anakin versus Obi-Wan because they were the commanders of their legions. Oh my God. They really got to do this now. Commander Cody versus Rex, Captain Rex, would be so similar to Obi-Wan versus Anakin because, first of all, they were the commanders or captains of each of those Jedi's legions, but also because they're like brothers, just like Anakin and Obi-Wan were. It would be so poetic, so parallel. It would be wild, and it would be so cool. That'd be awesome. That would break my heart if Rex has to kill Cody. It would, but it would be quite good storytelling, I must say. Very good storytelling. Oscar Isaac wants a house. Give it to him. I already read that. Darth Drew says, okay, I absolutely adore the Dune movies. So what are your thoughts? I don't know if you've covered this. Darth Drew, I'm going to be completely and blatantly honest with you. Dune suck. No, just kidding. I have not watched Dune 2 yet. I know. I've been a busy man. I have not gotten around to seeing Dune 2 yet. I want to for sure. But I just haven't had the time. So I'm hoping I can get around to it this weekend. Because I want to see it in the theaters. I really, really do. So I haven't watched it yet, but I do have very high hopes going in. I've heard it's incredible. I've heard it's one of the best movies pretty much ever. So I'm going to watch it. I promise. I'm watching it. I promise I'm watching it. I promise. Okay. Yeah, I promise. I'll watch it. I promise. Oscar Isaac in Moon Knight was amazing. Yeah, Moon Knight is underrated. Underrated for sure. Yeah. Poe was my favorite part of the sequel trilogy, but I don't want to see him come back. Really? Interesting. Audrey says, yeah, Oscar Isaac wasn't happy with The Rise of Skywalker, but I would like to see him come back. He is also friends with Adam Driver in real life, so maybe they could both return. That would be cool. Yeah, I think Oscar Isaac deserves to have fun with it too. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Squadrons in VR would be awesome. It really would. Getting to sit in a cockpit of a X-Wing or a TIE fighter in VR would be so damn cool. It would be awesome. Yeah. Audrey says Dune 2 was so good. I believe you guys. I promise I do. But I just haven't had the time to go watch it. After Oscar Isaac experienced an actual film like Dune, I don't think he will touch Lucasfilm with a 10-foot pole. That's hilarious. Oscar Isaac can come back. Why not? I liked his character. I hope he does come back because he's a cool character, but we'll have to wait and see. Mike, try Star Wars Pinball. It's great. I feel like I've played that before, but maybe not. Is it like just an online pinball machine or like an actual arcade pinball machine? Because I think I've played the actual one at like an arcade somewhere. I think Oscar has integrity with his work that he signs up for. He doesn't want to go back into that shit show. I hope not. I hope that that's not the case. I hope he does want to come back and maybe help his own character out a little bit, you know? Yeah. But Chris says, have you known that Kevin Williams just announced that Sidney Prescott is returning for Scream 7 in the franchise? I haven't watched it like any of those Scream movies, so I did not. Have you tried the game Contractors? Have you tried the game Contractors with the Battlefront mod? It's a VR Battlefront. It's not perfect, but it's very cool. Battlefront in VR sounds sick. I have not tried that, but that sounds amazing. Yeah. Episode 3, Star Wars Episode 3 game is slept on. It's such a good game. Yeah, it is. And it doesn't have like a different ending too than the actual movies. That is cool. Yeah. Yeah. Cat's Paw says, I like every week for an episode. It keeps the anticipation up. Yeah, you got to have something to look forward to, you know? Shiv Patel says, you're breaking my heart. Sorry, Shiv. I appreciate it, though. Damn it. I just scrolled to the bottom. No. Dune 2 is so good. I'll get to it. I've seen Dune 2 3 times in the theaters. It's a masterpiece. See it in IMAX. I will see it in IMAX for sure. Yeah. Haven't seen any of the Dune movies. Heck, I'm just getting around to Lord of the Rings. Well, there you go. You got 20 more years until you have to watch Dune. Doctor Who used to be a bi-yearly 6-episode in spring and 6-episode in the fall, and that really made it more anticipatory. Is that a word? Wish more shows would split up like that. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Have 6 episodes one time a year, 6 episodes. That's kind of cool. It's like season 1 and season 2, or part 1, part 2. Yeah. Nick says, Disney has made $12 billion from Star Wars since purchasing it from Lucasfilm for $4 billion in 2012. That's crazy. $12 billion is wild. I feel like they could have made a lot more than that, though, just from marketing and stuff. Yeah. Oh, Wayne, what's up? Says, Dune 1 was really good, but it was too long. I'll see Dune 2 at home so I can take a nap. That's hilarious. Dune 1 is on Netflix. I think it's on Max, but yeah. It's a VR Star Wars pinball game. That's pretty fun. That sounds cool. Yeah, that sounds cool. Do I have any inside information on The Acolyte when fans will get a trailer? No, I don't know when the trailer will drop. I do have the trailer, or I don't have the trailer, but if you want it, just hit me up in the DMs. But yeah, I hope that we get to see the trailer soon. Yeah. The trailer I have is really grainy. It's no fun. Audrey says, so to people thinking Dune 1 is boring, Dune 2 is a major improvement. The last hour is awesome. I have heard that because I thought Dune 1 was honestly a little boring, but a little slow paced, we'll put it that way. And I have heard that Dune 2 is a lot better. Yeah. The Episode 2 game deserves a remake? Episode 2 game? I didn't even know there was one. Star Wars for Life says, I feel very proud that I finished Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring. It was long. Well, you still got 2 more movies, so you haven't come anywhere close to finishing it, but yeah, that's good. Dune 1 is more of a setup to Dune 2. Would anyone want to watch a 6/7 hour movie? That's true. They can't combine both of them. I don't have high hopes for Acolyte. I do. I do have high hopes for Acolyte because of where it takes place, what it's about, all that stuff. Yeah. Is it a camera trailer from Celebration? Yes. Yes, it is. Indeed. Indeed it is. I think The Acolyte will be good because they had a vision for it and a plan, to be honest. That's true. They did. And they have 2 seasons already ready to go. Or not ready to go, but they're working on season 2 already. Zap says, do you like the Hobbit movies, Mike? I do. I do like the Hobbit movies. When they came out like 10 years ago or whenever it was, I remember seeing all those in theaters. Those were good. They're underrated, I think. Underrated for sure. I have huge hopes for The Acolyte. I kind of do too. I'm hyped up for it. Yeah. Yeah. All right. I love The Hobbit, but but I know some don't like it. Yeah, I know a lot of people don't like it. A lot of like Tolkien fans or something like that, but I'm not the biggest Tolkien fan. I'm a Lord of the Rings fan, but I'm not like the biggest one, so I'm not hurt by it, you know? All right, I'm going to end this poll. Lol, Skeleton Crew, I'm very skeptical. Like a bad sci-fi Goonies. Well, hopefully it's a good sci-fi Goonies, but yeah. All right, let's see. Are you excited for Rogue Squadrons? The math is not mathing, but 60% of you say yes, 21% say maybe, and 18% say no. A lot of that would change for the trailer, obviously, and all this other stuff with more news, but yeah, I appreciate that. And we've been going for 2 hours and 20 minutes almost, which is one of the longest streams we've had in a long time. So I appreciate that. I appreciate you all for being here. Huge shout out to Fearless for becoming a member, which seems like days ago, but it was only 2 hours ago. Huge shout out to your pal Joe for re-upping his membership, and of course gifting a member to Maggie. Huge shout out to all you guys. I appreciate it. I appreciate all of you. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Finn, the math is not mathing. I know, right? What the hell? Smash a like on the stream if you have not yet. Watch out for a video tomorrow about the Rogue Squadron and all the updates and news that we have about that movie. Huge shout out for all you guys for watching my breakdown video of the last 2 episodes of The Bad Batch. That got a ton of views, and I appreciate that. And hopefully we're about to hit 20K tonight, which would be insane. So pop the champagne. We'll do it together in the Discord. If you guys are not in the Discord, there's a Discord in the description below, and become a member in the description below, all that stuff. So I appreciate you guys. This was quite an incredible stream, I must say. We got a lot done today. We found out that his real name is CX2, but we still don't know who is under that. We still don't know who's under that mask. Hopefully it's either Commander Cody or nobody else. But maybe it's tech, maybe it's a clone version of Crosshair, or maybe it's somebody else. We'll find out next time on The Bad Batch. So smash a freaking like on this stream if you have not yet. Hit subscribe and hit that bell so you get notified every time I post a video. And my pretty face, show over the recommended feed of yours. May the force be with you. Always. Oh, yeah. What a great stream. What a great show. You guys are the absolute best. This was quite an incredible stream, I must say. This was a really, really good one. This is one to remember for the ages as we are about to hit 20K. I appreciate all of you for being here. I hope you have a great rest of your evening, a great rest of your lives. Watch out for a video tomorrow. And good night, everybody.